So when kids heavily rely on print, it's like the book had stated, which that's this bottom picture that I had pulled from, is it creates an insufficient reading process. So kids are over relying on their print information, and these kids read the words correctly without much error, but they really lack comprehension. If you can remember from the conference, we read that story about the picky eater and we had to use the code. And so that was kind of like an example of how a lot of kids rely on a code or the beginning letters to help them with their reading. And then another example that Berkins or Yaris had talked about at the conference is that these kids really rely on sight words. And if you can see at the picture to the right, way over for reader two, this is an example of a child who overly relies on print. So you can see that their beginning sounds are right. Same with like cup, they say glass, which has the same kind of like idea, but the beginning sound is wrong. Same with the word was supposed to be shelf and they read she, so they have the beginning, but the end is wrong. And I guess a big part of why I wanted to talk about this was that I felt like as a teacher, I didn't really understand how our kids process reading. And so I feel like at the conference, when they really talked about these two different parts about kids either being heavily reliant on print or meaning, I feel like that was a big aha moment to me to actually realize, oh, this is like how once I know these traits to my kids and like how they read, it will better help me to drive my instruction and to also support that piece of having a balanced reading process that we really want our kids to have in the end. And like Berkinson and Yaris had said, once that happens, then we'll have kids who are independent, love to read, and really create that agency for reading.